But one bit of good news that I don't know if you saw, but the Tennessee Senate just passed a bill that bans chemtrail geoengineering. And let me read you the language. So Senate Bill 691 HB 2063 prohibits the intentional injection, release, or dispersion by any means of chemicals, chemical compounds, substances, or apparatus within the borders of this state into the atmosphere with the express purpose of affecting temperature, weather, or the intensity of the sunlight. So one state, that's what it takes. Just like with Riley Gaines, one state stood up and now there's 24. Tennessee has now stood up, and it was brilliant. They didn't even say, oh, there's these terrible things called chemtrails. No, it's not a conspiracy theory. They didn't even go into that. They said, we're just banning anyone from being able to do this over this state in the future. So they just obsoleted that whole argument, went directly for it. Now, ultimately, as we dealt with this in California in 2007, when they started spraying our area with these toxin things under a bunch of lies, and we ended up stopping them in about 6 months. But I was the main person who was arguing against the government solution. There was a guy from Monterey who said, well, we got to organize politically and get this on the ballot, and we got to do a special initiative, and hopefully we can inform people. And I said, no, even if you were to win, you're still putting the hands of poisoning our bodies. You're putting that into government hands. And if you lost, then you've basically said, okay, well, it's not a popular idea, so you can go ahead and do it. So ultimately, the solution to any of this stuff is not the government. The solution is individual sovereignty based on the non-aggression principle. And if they're aggressing against us through the air, the food, the soil, water, whatever, then they are not only liable as an institution, but they're liable individually, anybody who's behind it. The notion that the WHO obviously was planning this a long time ago and wrote in their self-immunity, just like Big Pharma, is awfully suspicious, to say the least. I hear these people, even Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson, saying, well, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. Why not? We're in a world that's being run by conspiracy. So if you're standing up, stand up for conspiracy analysis. Be real about your analysis, because most of this stuff is being handled by conspiracy. So we need to grow up, put on our big trousers on this one and actually call it what it is, and then handle it by individual sovereignty.